Good morning and welcome to the Skeinz Diaries. It is Thursday, the 7th of December, and I'm Maree. Welcome along. Sorry I'm a little bit late. This is episode, I think, what is this episode? It is 200 and I think it's 297 or 298 maybe. I'm really sorry I'm late. It just, for some reason, wouldn't connect. We had to do the classic device restart and get it back going, but there we go. Welcome along. Sun is shining here. Finally, I had to put some yellow on today because the sun is shining and it's finally lovely after, yeah, we hadn't seen it for a while. It's been a bit rough, so it's been nice to have it back. Welcome along again this morning. I don't know where the year's going. This is just so crazy. I'm making up things for festive hours and I did a little tinkering around on the sale page, the gifts page this morning on the website, just sort of moving stuff around. We had some stock come in from Knit Pro, but the packaging was damaged, which is a real pain in the butt. So we've had to send that back and hopefully we will get it back in the next week or so from them. Yeah, it's just been full on. And of course, Stitchin Summer. Have you guys seen the special for today? Huge one, Cascade. Our Cascade 220 Marino, half price. And we did that a while ago. You guys loved it, absolutely loved it. It's back on. I've just gone and grabbed a quick little selection of colours here. There's still over 40 colours available. And they're all, and I actually apologise because they look so much better in real life. I mean, look at those. Aren't they delicious? And this is just a really random selection off the stand. It is a woolen spun merino, which means it's a short fiber process. So it's actually got it's bouncy. It's got a bit more extra loft to it because of its woolen spun construction. The neat thing about this 220 merino and the fact that it's woolen spun is that it's a really interesting conundrum, because what you get is you get a yarn that has got 100 grams, 200 meters. So that's the same as our standard DK worsted spun yarns you get in this woolen spun. But because of the loftiness in the woolen spun construction, you can knit this as a DK, no problem, but you can also knit this as a 10-ply Aran weight. So you've got the latitude of working anywhere between a 4mm to a 5mm needle with absolutely no issues whatsoever. So it's a really great yarn that sort of straddles it's a real sort of unicorn yarn that straddles both those weights. And from a meterage perspective, you can work off the meterages for a DK, 100 meters to 50 grams, or as I said, 200 meters to 100 grams. So you can have those DK patterns. But if you want to do some simple upsizing, just upsize your needles, and you know that you're not going to lose any performance or anything whatsoever by knitting it on a gauge that is slightly looser. So the gauge recommendation we recommend is anywhere between 22 and 18 to 22 stitches. I think on here it says 20. Has said they put a gauge on here? No, they haven't. We've played around with it and we've actually knit a little bit with it. We find that it works fantastically well in all gauges. This one here is the Aran pullover by our lovely friend Ethan. Look at that. Fabulous. So good, and it is just delicious, utterly delicious. So we've got that, and that we knitted that in the shrubbery shade, and it's just perfect, totally perfect for the yarns. So this is definitely another one of those yarns that, even if you haven't got a project you want to work with straight away, I would definitely recommend getting it into stash. Cascade have discontinued this yarn. So we bought all their remaining stock from their Pacific warehouse, and we bought it down with us. Oh, it was actually almost a year ago now. It landed, I think, landed around, I think it was January of this year. It is just a fantastic yarn, and particularly if you're wanting lots of colours, and we've still got lots of tonal colours. So we've got lots in this lovely sort of warm corally shade, which then move into these beautiful pumpkin oranges. Actually, I didn't grab any yellows. There's still a number of yellows there. And then they sort of go from that yellows into this beautiful warm sort of olive oil colour that then sort of drift into these lovely greens that then start drifting into beautiful look at that, beautiful tealy blues. But you also have from the tealy blues, you start going into the icy blues, which then start heading into purple territory. But I mean, I love this colour. Look at that masala red. Look at that. There are just so many. Beautiful. If you love beautiful natural walnutty browns, there's still about 5 of those left. So if you're wanting to do any design where you need to have sort of graduations of colour and block colours, I mean, Stephen West, I mean, if you need a place to start, just any painting collection, Stephen West pattern, amazing, would look so good in any of these yarns. I apologise, the pictures aren't the greatest because those were the ones that we got from Cascade, and we probably should have had these photographs separately. But as you can see, in real life, they're gorgeous. Totally, totally gorgeous. And to be able to get, this quality of merino for the equivalent of $5 a ball on sale is just amazing. And if you're wanting to do anything that's knitted in the round that's steeped, woolen spun's your friend. It will grab and just be gorgeous. Oh, fantastic. Kathy has gone and popped the Get Flocked link there for the Aran pullover from our Ethan. And Guy is saying he made my fragmentation was made on 4mm needles and knit as a DK. That would have given a stunning fabric, Guy. Lovely, beautiful, dense, bouncy fabric. It'd be amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Kathy's saying it would be fab for Westnitz DK patterns, and most of those are on 4.5mm needles. I mean, a dustland sweater, dustland shawl in a single colour, any of those painting blocks, painting bricks would be just so, so good in all of these. Ratio. If you want to do my free ratio poncho in this would be incredible. You could go hog wild. So in the ratio, you would probably need total 6 skeins. So 2, definitely for the largest one, 6 skeins would do it. How you divide those up color-wise is entirely up to you. So you could do 2 of each color. You could do 2. You would probably need 2 just for a main color, maybe 3, and then do a whole bunch of single skeins for the other colors and do lots of stripes. If you're wanting just to do the stripes down one portion and have a bigger swathe of the main color, so main color for the neckline, main color for the good portion, and only just a little bit on the sides, one each of so for argument's sake, one each of sort of highlight colors, and then your main color. Look at that. Doesn't that look like Arizona or something, New Mexico-ish? It's just gorgeous. And then have your main color. I would do 4 skeins of your main color and then one each of the other 2. There is so much latitude that you could do there, and it just makes such a gorgeous, gorgeous poncho. It would be sublime, amazing. And at that, you're looking at $60 for that garment, which is still for premium merino, amazing. So that today only. Got to get your skates on today only. Now, if you're wanting, so that's all on the sale page, our lovely Claire moved that to the sale page to make it easy. The one thing I will say to everybody is, depending on the day, unfortunately, we can't put things on the sale page, like it won't automatically switch over. So when I send the newsletter out, I'm actually sending a direct link to where the yarns are, usually on their product page. So if you're trying to find whatever the special is for the day and you just automatically go to the sale page, it may not be there. You will need to click through on the link from the newsletter I send out, or the social media. And that's because, of course, that rolls over at midnight, and we put that on an automation. And because I'm not getting up at midnight to turn that on for you. I love you, but I don't love you that much because I like to sleep. So that's just so you're aware of that. What was the other thing I was going to say with that? Lost my train of thought now. Yes, that automation won't be there. So just do click through on that link. Today, Claire Blessu did actually, first thing this morning, roll all those 40-odd yarns onto the sale page to make them easy for you to find. But yeah, they may not necessarily be there. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. Right, if you go over into Skeinz Originals, if you pop over onto that page, on the Skeinz Originals, actually, and I'll pull the page up and I'll show you, I have actually loaded some new yarn, which finally arrived. And it's now up. And I just, because of Stitchin Summer, oh, for goodness sake, there we go. Because of Stitchin Summer, I haven't had a chance to sort of really tell you about it. But I've hinted to it before, and I know some people have been waiting for it. And I just wanted to, and let me just change this view just to make it easier for you guys to see. There we go. So there we go. Da, 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 da. That's where you find it. And these are the Marino Effect yarns, which we have had previously before. So these Marino Effect yarns are now back. We've just done them as a little one-off collection for Stitchin Summer or for across the summer months. So this is our superwash merino with this trilobal nylon effect, and you can see it there with the wine trail and the New Mexico, and it adds this beautiful little sparkle and shine to your knitting. It's fully machine washable. We've done this time, so these are returning colors. The New Mexico's returning, wine trail is a returning color, platinum and pink lemonade are returning colors. In fact, these were the best selling colors from the last tranche that we did. But we've also got two new colors. One of them is this color here called Pale Rose. And if that looks sort of familiar to you, it should. It is actually the cream rose that we have in Pearl Luster, which is just the soft, it is essentially a pink cream or a cream pink. Ever so subtle. It's a warm, it's a blushy, warm blushy cream. It's just gorgeous. And then this one here called Icebreaker, which is just this beautiful, lovely, lovely soft blue. It's perfect for knitting baby garments. It's wonderful for knitting shawls or cardigans with just a little bit of extra pizzazz or shine. They look amazing. The yarn is just, it's a really, really fun yarn. And the other, we have got a couple of prints. Twilight here, which is sort of very cottage garden, pinks, greens, and mauves. And this one here called Sunset, which is apricots, lavender with a little bit of lemon, and they're very pretty, very, very pretty. And those are up. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Those are up and live now, so they are available. So if you're popping over to get yourself some Cascade and you're wanting to add a few other extra things in your cart, or you're needing some 4-ply, that nylon merino nylon effect yarn is absolutely perfect. It is a 4-ply, 178 meters per ball, and it is an absolute cracker. And it is a limited edition. We only do it sporadically once in a blue moon. We're not always doing the same colors. We tend to trot it out on a special occasion. And finally, they all arrived into warehouse on Monday, and they've actually been quietly sitting there since Monday. So I got those all up and ready for you. And there's some really fun stuff on that Skeinz original page. That Skeinz original page is designed for our one-offs, things that we don't always have, things that are just limited editions, or they cancelled export orders, or whatever it may be. That's where it'll end up. It's a really interesting page because it'll be things that are quite quirky will often end up there. So do make sure you have a look at those, because there is lots and lots of fun stuff there. So that is the Cascade. Now, I have actually done a little bit of knitting, a little bit of progress on my field cardigan. And I'm now at the point, so I have to say, I got to this row, and I knew this row was I called it the row from hell. My husband has never heard me effing blind and swear, I think, at my knitting so much in years. And the row from hell, and I knew it was going to be the row from hell because it was the one row that had a case where you were making grain and creating grain, but you were also collapsing grain together, and it was basically the final point of that initial grain. So here we go. So oopsie, let's move this a little so you can see it readily. Look, you can see second grain starting. So the row from hell was the one creating that guy there, right? So that was what they call a make large grain, which is essentially like making a grain where you're sort of going in and knitting the stitch twice with the yarn over in between, but you add an extra one to make this nice big fat one at the bottom. I knew that this row here, because you're making and moving, you're literally moving those grains there with the cable needle. So you're offsetting those and you're collapsing this guy. It is a knit 5 together in the back of the loop. So if you're doing anything in the back of the loop, your real estate is very limited. And if you are knitting this yourself, and I don't know what others have experienced if they've done it, I can tell you right now that I knitted that using a 2 millimeter crochet hook. What I mean, 2.5 millimeter crochet hook actually. So I put the crochet hook through into the back of the loop, knitted onto the crochet hook, and pulled the crochet hook through to create that stitch. Because there was no way in a tinker's tuppence that my 4.5 millimeter needle was going to do that. I tried, it would fall off. I yelled and cursed and sweared, and it was just an absolute nightmare. So it is not a fun stitch to do, and I'm going to have to do it once more on the ends of these grains here. So by the time I'm offsetting these grains, collapsing this guy here into this beautiful little point, it took me 90 minutes. 90 minutes to do a single row. I know. It was a thing. I was up very early doing it, so I was fresh of mind. But it is now vastly more plain sailing. You are now, as you can see, there's a little bit of real estate now, stocking stitch real estate in between those areas. So it's certainly these next sort of half dozen rows I've just done were vastly faster once I've done that collapsing of that big guy there. Where is he? Oh, that one's a little bit smaller, that big guy there. So it was a much, much happier thing. So the one thing that I will say for this, so the row that I'm on to now is an increased row. So I've actually got a couple of increases that I'm adding in this next row either side there, which will give me even more stocking stitch real estate. Having now done my fudgy row, which I told you about last time, which was this one up here, I can definitely say to you it is missing an increase on that row. So the pattern may have been updated. I haven't actually seen, but certainly on the version I downloaded, it was most definitely missing an increase there. Absolutely guaranteed. And I can see at the top up here, the way that they did it, they actually split it with a yarn over there. So what I ended up having to do and to divide out, there was, I think that's how they did it by the look of it. Yeah, but it is most certainly missing down there. I think what my fudging, it actually looks all right. I'm perfectly happy with it. So it's just gotten kinked off to the side there, and it looks fine. When it's on, there we go. When it's on, you're never going to see it at all. But I have to say the yarn is performing beautifully. I'm really happy with how the yarn's performing. Actually, this Cascade would look really good in this. And remember, I'm knitting this in a 4.5 millimeter needle. So you could actually do this in that Cascade if you wanted to. But of course, I'm knitting it on using Whisper Fine with Cozy. And I'm super happy with how it's progressing. So now that I'm at this stage, so I've got about another, I think I've got about another 8 or 10 rows left in this sort of field, and I think I've got this next big lot of increasing, and I've got there might be one more, I haven't read forward. There could be one more set of increasing again before I get to finishing up this last lot of wheat, and then I'm onto some short rows at the back for the shoulder shaping, and then I am just on to plain sailing Sam. So there is actually a hope that I could actually get this done before Christmas and before my break, which was the initial plan. But I tell you what, it's taken so long to get this done that I was beginning to think that I would never get out of the field. But as Camilla said, it is slow crafting. So, and she is right, it is very slow crafting. But once it's not technically difficult. It is just requires the patience of Job and sobriety. That is my definite suggestion. And we all know that I am better knitting through Chardonnay. So you can imagine that this has been testing my sobriety. There has been a twist in my sobriety with this because there's no way on earth. I've been doing, actually, to be fair, I've been knitting this primarily first thing in the morning because there's no way on earth I can knit this any other time. It's just too hard. But I'm so pleased to be at least finally to a point where I'm now beginning to see wood for trees or wheat from chaff, depending on the metaphor you'd like to use. So it's very exciting. So that's where I'm at with that. So I am super happy. I can say, however, I don't think that this is going to be a repeater. Don't think one is going to repeat this pattern, just quietly. Mind you, it's not completely putting me off things because I know I have seen the magnolia, and we've had people in here that have bought magnolia cardigans in and bought the 14, bought our warm chunky or even our bulky, Southlander bulky, and done magnolias, and they look so good. So I have to, and that is a much more straightforward proposition. So I'm not completely put off doing one of those. However, yeah, I don't think I'd do a field anytime soon. But I know already I'm going to be utterly, utterly delighted with the result. So it's good to challenge oneself from time to time, is it not? All right, I'm going to disappear. I will be back on Monday, and I'll be able to give you a teaser for what will be our Stitchin Summer Special for the Tuesday. And of course, don't forget, we've got another Stitching Summer promotion this Saturday. There is so many, they're going to be coming thick and fast, people. So you need to make sure you check your inboxes. The newsletters go out at 12:15. And when I say 12:15, I mean the AM, not the PM. So they will go out at 12:15. And social media, I think, is scheduled for 6 a.m. So that's, if you need to check out what the Stitchin Summer Special is, you need to, the newsletter is the best way to do it. Or you can check social media from first thing in the morning. And I am posting an Instagram, Skeinz Speakeasy, and our main Skeinz page. So that's where you can go and find it. And I do apologize that things don't instantly appear on the sale page. Unfortunately, it is a completely manual process. And with me being away for all of January, we've got an automation in place. So there's not a lot we can do about that. If we are physically around, whether it be myself or Claire, to move stuff onto the sale page, we will do that, but it's not always guaranteed that it's going to be there. So just be aware of that. And make sure you have a look too at the gift page section. I have actually moved things around. We have got some bags in now that are up there. There's still some needle sets there. Actually, I'm just about to go and put our blankets across on there. Now, Claire was saying that she's got some more pattern books coming from the Australian Yarn Company. We're loading up more pamphlets, truly myrtle pattern pamphlets. I know a lot of you prefer printed patterns and in a pamphlet form. She's just doing codes for those as we speak. We've got all the old format from Truly Myrtle, and she's changing her format. So we've got all of those for existing current designs, other than perhaps the last couple. So we've got all those. They will be up. Hope they will definitely be up for the end of the year, or potentially very early in the new year. So there's still lots of stuff to come. So you need to start planning your summer knitting. Get planning. And I'm really sorry, I just haven't even gotten to drawing November yet. I will do that. In fact, I'll get my skates on and do it right now. And I will pop that out on the speakeasy for our November winner. So until then, thank you for tuning in today, and I will be back with you all again on Monday.